Hello everybody, it's Ron again back in the sim. Today we're going to do something a little different. I want to talk about failure modes of the G1000, how we simulate them in the simulator. What you can see right now is a copy of my iPad, and you can see the panel. Um, so what you're seeing on the iPad is the X-Plane Instructor Operating uh, Instructor Console. It's iPad based, and of course you can set up um, the simulator. You can put the student pilot, which we all are. We're all student pilots, right? We should all be learning. You can set the student pilot up for various approaches, certain situations. You can change weather, etc. But you can also fail things that would be unsafe to fail in an actual airplane, and it's a whole lot more realistic because you can put it in context. It's not just an instructor saying, "You smell smoke in the cockpit," or um, you know, uh, maybe pulling the throttle back. They can actually give you things like fluctuating fuel pressure, subtle things like uh, they can lock one of your flaps down like we did in a previous video, or lock it up, and then you can find out the hard way that that's happened, just like you would in actual flight. So um, it's really a phenomenal tool. I'm going to do a couple of demonstrations, some based on the G1000 and others. Gosh, we're gonna simulate a mechanical fuel pump failure, and kind of show you what it's like to experience this kind of thing in the cockpit. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and go to we're on fail now. Engines. Now let's go to systems, instruments, G1000. All right, let's take a look at an AHRS failure. And of course, we were on autopilot. You lose AHRS, autopilot disconnects. So I'm going to go to hand flying. Uh, if the autopilot doesn't know your attitude, right, then you've got an issue. It's not gonna know how to direct you. So let's go ahead and re-enable AHRS. Um, that's the attitude heading reference system. We're going to fail the magnetometer next, and of course you can see right here in the primary flight display, your heading now has uh, a red X over it. You can do the same with airspeed, altimeter. You get red X's over them, and of course the vertical speed indicator, VSI. So those can all be failed in flight on a student. Trim again, a bit more using the electric trim. There we go. And we can fail the entire PFD, which reverts the multifunction display to both functions. You get the engine instruments, you get a navigation display, and you get your primary flight display. Of course, we've got our standby instrument. In this case, it's a G5. The new 172s and such are getting Garmin 275s, and of course, most of our aircraft are going to have actual analog displays. But so you can always fall back onto whatever standby instruments your aircraft has. So we're going to go to engines. We could fail a magneto. We could go ahead and start an engine fire. We're going to go over to fuel and air, and then we're going to fail the mechanical fuel pump. All right, so the mechanical fuel pumps failed. The engine is just windmilling. I'm trying to maintain some altitude here, and airspeed's going down. And we're about to stall it. I'm going to go ahead and lower the nose, keep the engine windmilling. We would then do our airspeed to best glide. We would then go Um, uh, Best landing field. We just passed over Montgomery Airport, so that would be my choice. And then checklists and flows. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure we have mixture rich fuel on both. I'm going to turn on the boost pump, the electric fuel pump, and then all of a sudden the engine's running again. Once I add throttle half in my flow. So we have a running airplane again. I'm going to unfail the mechanical fuel pump, turn off the boost pump, uh, and we're in a flying airplane. Of course, if this happened, we're now single threaded and I'm going to land the airplane at the earliest convenience. So there are quite a few things you can simulate here. You can revert the displays using the red button, just like we do in the real airplane. Um, you can fail autopilots. Um, you can start engine fires, etc. So it's really a phenomenal tool. You can do it in the context of a flight. Um, in this case, in the case of um, a cross-country flight, you can fail something like the magnetometer, um, and or AHRS, or your airspeed indicator, and the pilot can decide, okay, do I want to divert? Is that a big enough deal for me to divert the flight? Or do I want to continue on? I've got airspeed on my standby, um, and I've got mechanical facilities at my final destination. The pilot can use his pilot or her pilot command authority to decide, um, to press on. So, it really shows judgment, aeronautical decision making, etc. So, it's really a phenomenal tool for emergency procedures and abnormal procedures training. So that's it for today. Hopefully you get a chance to try it yourself with me in the sim, or you in your own sim. And again, this is X-Plane 12 with real sim gear panels and some switches from aviatortrainingfoundation.com. If you are interested in those items for your setup, otherwise you can use a keyboard and mouse and X-Plane 12 to play with the G1000. Everybody have a great day and fly safe.